So, as you know, BAS is a year commitment. With the stress that you go through within BAS and through school, how will you keep yourself motivated through that whole year?
Okay, well, obviously BAS is something that I want to do. It's something that I'm motivated for. And, you know, when I think of myself, I think of my work, I want people to be like, okay, like, that's Sam, you know, he's great. He does great work, right? So that's sort of what I would sort of drive my motivation on. I'm very motivated internally. And you know what? At the end of the year, my goal would be to add value to the students. And, you know, like, it's a year-long thing. And that's what would motivate me.
Do you get something like extra? As in, would you gain personally through whether that's learning or whether that's...
Yeah, for sure. I hope to gain, like, you know, leadership experience. Hope to, you know, sort of get a better knowledge of, you know, how SFU works as a whole student society, and, you know, I just want to learn and go from there.
If we have time for another question, do you have long-term goals beyond SFU and your first job?
You know what? Long-term goals. Well, right now, if I had to set a goal, it would be, you know, I want to hammer out the SFU degree, want to get as much value as I can out of it. I want to take in as much as I can. Out of school, what I'm really trying to do right now is get into like an investment banking type job. And from there, I think there's sort of lots of different opportunities you can go. And there's, you know, lots of things, lots of routes that you can take. Yeah.
Justin. Okay, three-part question. First, how much experience do you have in sponsorship? Have you done major sponsorship for something roughly around 20K, 10K?
No, not at all. Gonna be honest with you, I don't have a ton of experience in sponsorship. What I do have, I coached and managed the Little League baseball team. We collected sponsorship from there, you know, funded our trips and whatnot, and that's sort of what I could bring in for a sponsorship experience. With that being said, I think I'm very good at networking, I think I'm very good at meeting people. Trying to find that investment banking job that I have touched on, it's a very competitive field. What I find myself doing now is sort of just going to weekly meetings, trying to meet different people and stuff. I think I can bring that same approach to BAS and sponsorship, and just always trying to meet people continuously through the year.
Okay. Second part, the clubs and BAS cannibalize each other every year for the same sponsors. How do you plan to address this?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think that what would be really important would be not so much BAS and the club sharing contacts, but them sharing information and being transparent about who they've contacted and when their events are, so that when it does come time to have an event, you know, BAS knows what ASA is doing, what Finance Club is doing, so that the same sponsor, CG, doesn't get hit on like 3 times in the same week for SFU asking them for money.
The third one is, let's say sponsorship is going like how this year is with very little funding. What is your alternative strategy?
Well, as Ari touched on, I think that if something were like that to go sour, we'd have to sort of lean to fundraising and try as hard as we can to fundraise that way internally. You know, a good example of a fundraising event would be this Thursday at the Highland Pub, where I think Johnny's actually running it. You know, and hopefully, you know, it'll better the SFU community, bring everyone together, and you know, BAS can get a little bit of kickback from that as well.